People in the United States have the right to vote with their feet, and they have voted with their feet over particularly these last 5 or 6 years. They have fled California, Oregon, and Washington, and they've chosen places like Idaho because they're seeking a better life.
An endorsement for the gem state from the guy in charge of the Sunshine State. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis believes Idaho's economic growth and financial policies are admirable, like how we have it in our state constitution to have a balanced budget. But what about taking that idea nationally? Governor DeSantis stopped by the State House today as part of his tour to convince Idaho lawmakers to sign off on a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Well, he wasn't here for long. He headed over to Montana shortly after his event today to make the same plea. And it seems like, Joe Paris, DeSantis was kind of a day late and a dollar short on this constitutional thing.
Yeah, you may remember Idaho lawmakers actually voted this idea down for several reasons, and we can talk about that in a minute. But if you're unfamiliar, this whole conversation centers on Article 5 of the United States Constitution, allowing for a convention of states to propose and ratify amendments to the Constitution. And critics of the idea worry that opening the Constitution can end up with wild amendments on topics like guns, gay marriage, abortion, just to name a few. And that would be called a runaway convention. And Idaho Governor Brad Little, he's actually spoken about this constitutional convention concept before, specifically on the topic of a balanced budget amendment. Consistent with what Governor Little said today. He even mentioned the same during his State of the State in 2024, and I later asked him about concerns about the runaway convention.
I'm signing on as a member of the Governor's Debt Council for a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution. The runaway freight train of federal spending has got to stop.
There's arguments that you can't control it when you get there, the old runaway convention. But if every state sends all their delegates with a commitment to have it done on one thing, we can get there.
But Governor Little hasn't been able to convince Idaho lawmakers to join the convention call. Maybe Governor DeSantis could. 34 states are needed to do this. 19 are signed on right now, with another 8 very close to doing so. So the number of states in play is about 27. The Idaho House, though, they voted this down just last month.
They're not making founding fathers the way they used to. And I think this takes us down a path that can lead to outcomes we don't anticipate and consequences we don't want.
I'd rather be sorry for something that I did than for something I didn't do. Let's do something. Let's act. Let's give the green light. Thank you.
We're not only opening up a convention, we're putting the Constitution on a gurney and rolling it into the surgery room, and we don't even know whether those surgeons are qualified.
So here's the vote tally in real time. You can see it failed sizably. And some proponents, though, of the Convention of States say they don't really expect the event itself to happen if enough signs on. They say it's more about the pressure that the concept of it all could put on Congress to get it done themselves. Either way, I asked Governor DeSantis if he thinks he convinced Idaho lawmakers to join the call.
I'm not sure about that, but I think the questions were excellent. I mean, these are clearly legislators that are thinking very deeply, not just about the issues confronting Idaho, but the future of the country. I think they asked all the right questions. I think they're thinking very, very deeply about it. And I do think the fact, like, if you just had the balanced budget vote separately, seems like there would be probably more support than the package that wasn't able to get the votes the other day.
Yes, referencing that failed vote, it remains to be seen if Governor DeSantis rallied Idaho lawmakers in a way that they'll take another run at it this session.
That was how he tried to do that prior to that media event, right?
Yes, at 8 o'clock this morning, there was a locked event, a private event just for lawmakers to kind of get a conversation with Ron DeSantis. And I'm sure you've seen some social media pictures of lawmakers and the governor from the Sunshine State.
Because we weren't in there, though, we don't know exactly what was said?
No, we were not invited or allowed in, so anything could have happened. I don't know.
All right. Thanks, Joe.